Imagine a small gray cat, abandoned to fend for himself, facing the world with nothing but his courage and a barely legible name on his collar. Oliver. Now imagine this same cat stumbling upon a secret that could change everything, a secret hidden in a place no one dared to enter. What Oliver found inside wasn't just a basement, it was the beginning of something no one could have predicted. Are you ready to find out what happened next? Oliver was more than just an abandoned cat. His eyes held a mix of fear and determination that no one could ignore. On that chilly afternoon, with the wind howling through the streets, he was left in front of an old wooden house. Its planks creaked with age, and the dusty windows concealed what appeared to be a lifeless home. Inside, Mia, a 10-year-old girl, watched the world through a dirty pane of glass. She clutched a small blanket that she had kept close ever since losing her parents in a tragic accident. Since then, Mia lived with her grandmother, a kind-hearted but reserved woman. Loneliness filled Mia's days, a void that seemed unending. When the sound of a faint meow broke the silence, Mia rushed to the door. As she opened it, she found Oliver wet and shivering. The small cat looked up at the girl with his wide eyes, as if pleading for something deeper than food or shelter. He seemed to be asking for a place in her heart. Without hesitation, Mia scooped Oliver into her arms and carried him inside. In that moment, something shifted in the house. The emptiness was replaced by small bursts of life, like the gentle purring of Oliver as he nestled into Mia's lap. To her, he wasn't just a cat. He was the companion she had been missing, a new beginning amidst the hardships she faced. But there was something peculiar about Oliver. He seemed to know every corner of the house, even those Mia avoided, like the locked door to the basement. It's turning into a really cool story, isn't it? Leave a comment and let me know what you think. Don't worry, stay with me because the story is still going on, and there's lots of exciting stuff coming up. In the following days, Oliver became Mia's constant shadow. Wherever she went, the small cat was by her side, as if watching over the girl with a purpose she couldn't yet understand. The house, once dark and full of silence, was now filled with soft laughter and the sound of Oliver's purring, following every movement of Mia with a watchful gaze. But there was something Mia didn't know, something Oliver knew but couldn't explain. The cat avoided looking directly at the old, locked basement door in the corner of the house. It was always shut, and Mia had never dared to open it. Her grandmother always told her to keep the door locked, never explaining why, and Mia never had the courage to question it. However, as days passed, something strange began to happen. Whenever Mia became distracted, Oliver would approach the door, his small paws making no sound on the floor, and his eyes would seem to glow with an intensity she hadn't seen before. He would look at her from afar, almost as if inviting her to uncover a secret, something he knew but couldn't tell. One afternoon, while Mia was outside playing with her favorite toy, Oliver disappeared. She searched the house, calling his name, but he didn't answer. Silence took over the house, and Mia felt an unsettling sense of discomfort. The absence of Oliver was something she wasn't prepared to face. She sat down in a chair, deep in thought, trying to understand what was happening. That's when she glanced at the basement door. Something within her, an inexplicable impulse, made her stand up and walk toward it. She didn't know what was pushing her toward that door, but with each step, her heart raced faster. When she got closer, she noticed the key was on the hallway table, as if it had been left there on purpose. Mia picked it up with trembling hands. Something told her this moment was important. Something in her chest urged her to go on. She looked at the door one last time, took a deep breath, and with a decisive motion, she inserted the key into the lock and turned it. The door creaked open slowly, groaning as if complaining about being disturbed after so much time locked away. What Mia saw inside the basement was beyond her comprehension. The room was filled with old boxes and furniture covered in dusty sheets, but what truly caught her attention was the strange light emanating from a dark corner. It was a soft glow, almost magical, as if something was waiting for her. Mia hesitated for a moment, but something inside her, perhaps curiosity or perhaps fate, urged her to move forward. Oliver suddenly appeared by her side, as if he had come out of the shadows. His eyes were glowing with an intensity she had never seen before, and he appeared calmer than ever. He gave a small meow and with a gesture indicated that Mia should follow him. And so she did. They walked through the dim basement until they reached an old chest in the corner. Oliver approached it and, with a gentle paw, signaled for Mia to open it. When she did, she found something that left her speechless. An ancient, torn, and yellowed map, covered in strange symbols and drawings, accompanied by words written in a language she couldn't understand. Alongside the map was a small golden amulet, shaped like a cat's paw. Mia held the amulet with trembling hands. She felt that this was not just an old object, it was a sign, an invitation to something greater. From that moment on, she knew her life would never be the same. She didn't know what the map meant, but Oliver seemed to know. His serious gaze, yet full of an almost supernatural calm, indicated that he was ready to reveal the truth. And then, Mia understood. The secret of the basement wasn't just a piece of history. It was a key to a hidden world, full of magic and mystery, waiting to be uncovered. The map and amulet were only the beginning. Mia and Oliver's adventure was about to begin, and fate awaited them in a place beyond understanding, where ancient secrets and mysterious forces were about to change everything they knew about the world. Oliver, the small cat she had welcomed, was not just a pet. He was the guardian of a secret that until that moment only he had known. And Mia was about to discover what the future held for her, with Oliver by her side as the loyal companion he had always been. Magic was about to be revealed, and the destiny of Mia and her feline hero was about to intertwine in a story no one would ever forget. Mia tucked the map and the amulet away, a growing feeling of unease building inside her that this was no mere children's game. Oliver, with his attentive and steady eyes, watched her with a mysterious calm, as if he already knew what was about to happen. He stood up and walked toward the back of the basement, where the light emanating from the chest seemed to intensify. Mia followed closely, feeling her heart race with every step. The sensation that something was about to happen hung in the air, like a storm on the verge of breaking. They reached a brick wall at the back of the basement, a wall Mia had never noticed before. Oliver positioned himself in front of it, his gaze focused and serious. He circled around, meowing softly as if calling something or someone. Mia approached cautiously, her fingers touching the cold surface of the wall. Something wasn't right. The space around her seemed to shift, as if the house itself were breathing. Then, a crack appeared in the wall, slowly widening. Mia took a step back, startled. Oliver stared at her with an encouraging look, as if telling her not to be afraid. The crack widened until it formed an opening, revealing a staircase descending into a dark subterranean cave. The air was heavy, and the smell of earth and age filled the space. Mia looked at Oliver, who was now ahead of her, his eyes glowing in the darkness, as if he were the only thing guiding her. Without hesitation, Mia descended the stairs, her heart pounding, the sound of her footsteps echoing off the walls. The staircase seemed endless, as though it were leading her to a place farther and farther from reality. Finally, she reached the bottom, and what she found there left her speechless. The underground cave was immense, with a soft yet pulsating light emanating from sources that seemed to float along the walls. The air was vibrant, full of a strange and powerful energy. Mia felt as if she were entering a completely different world, one outside of time where magic and mystery intertwined. She looked at Oliver, who appeared calmer than ever, his eyes focused on something ahead. As they moved deeper into the cave, Mia felt a presence surrounding her, as if something or someone was watching her. But she couldn't see it. The sound of wind whispering through the stones and the glow of the floating lights gave the place a supernatural feel. She could hardly believe what was happening. It all seemed so unreal, yet so tangible. Oliver, without a word, approached a large stone in the center of the cave. He placed his front paws on it and let out a small meow, as if performing a ritual. The stone began to glow intensely, and a soft, ethereal voice echoed through the space, as if coming from within the very walls of the cave. "Are you ready, Mia?" The voice seemed to come from everywhere at once. It was welcoming but also full of ancient wisdom. Mia stood still, unsure of how to respond, until Oliver stepped forward as if waiting for her to make a decision. She looked at him and felt the courage he had always had, a quiet but firm courage. Mia knew she couldn't turn back now. "Yes," she replied, her voice trembling but full of determination. The stone before her began to move slowly, revealing an opening in the floor, a deep crack leading to an even darker tunnel. Mia hesitated for a moment, but Oliver guided her, his reassuring presence giving her the strength to continue. Together they descended once more, now on a journey that went beyond anything she could have ever imagined. The tunnel seemed to stretch endlessly. The light that had illuminated the cave walls was now gone, leaving the path dark and uncertain. Mia felt a growing pressure, as if she were being pulled towards something she couldn't see, but knew was waiting for her. Her body was tense, but she dared not stop. Oliver was always ahead, his body agile and silent, as though he knew the way by heart. After what seemed like an eternity, the tunnel finally opened into a vast subterranean chamber. At the center of the room was an ancient altar, covered in strange symbols and gemstones that reflected the soft light emanating from the walls. The energy filling the place was so dense that Mia could almost touch it. She instinctively knew that this was the heart of everything, the center of the secret that Oliver had kept. "This is the place," the ethereal voice spoke again, reverberating through the walls. "Here resides the power that can change everything. The power that you and Oliver together will awaken." Mia looked at Oliver, who was now beside the altar, his eyes shining with an almost supernatural intensity. She reached out her hand, touching the gemstones laid out on the altar. The moment she did, a wave of energy enveloped her, and a vision blinded her momentarily. She saw flashes of a distant past, of a world full of magic, of mysterious creatures and forces beyond human comprehension. She saw Oliver, not as the cat she knew, but as an ancient being, the guardian of a secret that transcended time. The vision passed as quickly as it came, and Mia stood there, her heart racing, finally understanding that she was connected to something greater, a story that spanned generations. She looked at Oliver, and he seemed more than just a cat. He was the key, the guide, the hero of a story that was about to be written, and Mia, unknowingly, had a crucial role to play. "Hey, are you enjoying this story? That's so cool. Let's keep going, but before we do, I noticed you haven't left a like on this video yet. It's really important, because that way, YouTube will keep showing you our cute kitten stories. And with that, we'll keep bringing you more exciting stories. So, don't forget to leave your like, okay? Thanks." Mia stood frozen, stunned, as the images from her vision continued to echo in her mind. The altar before her began to glow with an increasing intensity, and a wave of energy filled the entire space. Oliver, with his piercing eyes, stared directly at her, as if waiting for her next move. Mia knew that this wasn't just a vision, it was a call. Whatever had been revealed to her, she now carried a responsibility she could no longer ignore. "This is the moment," the ethereal voice spoke again, reverberating through the cave's walls. "The magical world is on the brink of collapse. Only you and Oliver have the power to prevent everything from being lost." Mia looked at the cat, who appeared stronger and more trustworthy than ever. He was no longer just the cute animal she knew. He was the key to restoring balance to this magical world, and somehow she was connected to all of this. Suddenly, a burst of light filled the room, and an invisible force pushed Mia backward. A dark figure appeared before them, an imposing figure cloaked in shadows that seemed to consume all the light around it. Its red eyes glowed with malice, and its presence made the air heavy and oppressive. It was the guardian of darkness, the one being who could destroy everything Mia and Oliver were trying to save. "You can't stop the inevitable, girl," the figure growled, its voice harsh and filled with rage. "This world is on the verge of destruction, and nothing can stop its fall." Mia felt fear rise within her, but when she looked at Oliver, something ignited in her chest. He was there, firm and ready to fight by her side. In that moment, she knew she was not alone. Together, they were stronger. "It won't be like that," Mia said, her voice steady and full of determination. She placed her hands on either side of the altar, feeling the magical energy pulse through her body. "We have the power to change this." With a decisive meow, Oliver leaped toward the guardian of darkness. He transformed into a sphere of pure light, fast and agile, dodging the surrounding shadows. Mia, in turn, focused all the energy she felt deep within her soul and raised her hands. A burst of golden light enveloped the space, creating a protective shield around herself and Oliver. "Together, we can defeat him," she shouted, the strength of her voice merging with the magic emanating from the altar. The golden light expanded, becoming a brilliant beacon that illuminated the surrounding darkness. The Guardian of Darkness recoiled, but did not surrender. It made a swift movement, launching a beam of shadows at the energy Mia and Oliver were creating. The battle had only just begun, and Mia knew the only way to win was to fully trust in Oliver's power and the bond they now shared. She closed her eyes, concentrating on the strength of the magical world that pulsed within her. The energy from the altar was now completely connected to her, and a sensation of connection to everything around her overwhelmed her body. She knew the final battle to save the magical world was about to unfold, and she would do the impossible to ensure that good prevailed. The Guardian of the Shadows roared in fury, his shadows trying to swallow the golden light that Mia and Oliver had created. The battle had reached a critical point, and Mia could feel her energy beginning to drain. But Oliver, with his eyes shining like never before, continued to attack with all the strength he possessed, each movement more intense and precise than the last. Suddenly, the Guardian of the Shadows launched a massive wave of dark energy that struck Mia, causing her to fall to the ground. The impact was too strong, and the altar began to waver, as if the very magical world was about to shatter. Oliver, seeing Mia fall, acted quickly. He ran to her, his movements now faster than ever, and with a cry of strength, he jumped in front of her, taking the impact of the dark energy in his body. Mia, stunned, watched as Oliver's body was consumed by the darkness. The hero cat, who had been her companion in everything, was now being destroyed by the malignant force. A scream of pain escaped her throat, but Oliver, with one last look full of courage, turned to her and meowed, a soft sound full of determination. "No, Oliver, no," Mia pleaded, but it was too late. Oliver's body began to glow with an intense light, brighter than anything Mia had ever seen. He had given everything he had, his vital energy now merging with the magic of the world, creating a shield of pure light around them. Mia, with tears in her eyes, realized the heroic sacrifice Oliver had made. He was dying to save the world. But in the darkest moment, something magical happened. The light that Oliver had left behind began to expand, covering the world around them. The pure energy began to spread, destroying the darkness of the Guardian of the Shadows. The altar shone with intensity, and the magic of the world, now restored, took shape, purifying everything. Oliver, with one last sigh of relief, closed his eyes, his body disintegrating into a cloud of bright light, leaving behind a sense of peace. Mia, crying, felt the presence of her friend still by her side, in her heart. The magical world was saved, but the loss of Oliver was something she would never forget. He had given everything for her, for everyone, and now he would become a legend, a true hero in Mia's heart and in the heart of the entire magical world. Mia, with a heavy heart, gazed at the sky now shining in peace. The darkness dissipated. Oliver's lesson was etched into her soul. True heroism is not in winning, but in sacrificing oneself for something greater. He had shown her the strength of love, courage, and unconditional friendship. The magical world was saved, but Mia knew she would never be the same. She now carried the essence of Oliver within her, and he would live forever in her heart. And you, what did you think of this story? Let us know in the comments which part you liked the most and why. We're excited to hear your thoughts. If you liked this story, don't forget to leave a like and tell everyone. Subscribe to the channel for more amazing adventures of our cute little cats. Comment below and tell me what you think. Your opinion is really important to us. Come join our group of cat lovers and help spread smiles and cuteness around.